Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Grassroot Chats Future Show, the show we bring to you every Wednesday, where us in the studio, the lads, we all argue or talk about what we feel like or what's trending or what we just feel needs to be spoken about. As always, we have the angry one, Neil, Dunk, in the studio with me. Big Steve is still somewhere we don't know, but hopefully she'll be back with us soon. This week, ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about the one and only Cristiano Ronaldo. Breaking all the records, highest goal scorer, 60 hat tricks, literally, as Neil would say, carrying Man United team on his back. A very sore back this season since Man United has been playing terrible football. But there are a couple of questions people still ask, and I'm hoping the lads here can help me answer some of those questions. So, arguably, people who say Cristiano Ronaldo is the best footballer to ever grace this planet, but there are still certain questions people want answers to. So, hopefully, as I ask the question, the wonderful lads will help me out. But if you like what you hear, what you see, please, people, subscribe, hit that notification button, follow us on all platforms: TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and our website, grassrootchats.com. Dunk, first question is going to go to you, and of course, everybody else will follow. With Ronaldo and all his breaking the records and all his statistics, people still will still not put him in the same bracket as Pelé and Maradona, who a lot of people think are the best players to ever play in this world. Do you think he has surpassed them as number one of all times?
Personally, I wouldn't say so. No, he's obviously an exceptionally good footballer. Him and Messi, the best of the current generation in the last 15, 20 years. Um, for me, I'm still going to cling on to that part of the argument where the best of all time, you should have won a World Cup or multiple honours with your country as well as your club. So again, like I'm not going to sit here and say, "Oh, yeah, Ronaldo's no good." Okay, again, like he's an amazing footballer. I'm just not going to put him up there with some of the past footballers.
So, I mean, just to before Mike and Neil answer the main question I asked you, you mentioned the World Cup, and we are very big when we talk about resources that you have and your country has. Ronaldo is one man, and you could argue that Pele and Maradona and all the greats that have won a World Cup, they had a lot of other good players. Yes, they were the standout players, but they had a lot of other good players in the team that helped them. Ronaldo has won the European Cup and, you know, still stands out as a very good tournament to win. So you're saying the World Cup is the one thing that doesn't put him in the same bracket as Pele or Maradona.
Yeah, I'm going to go with that rationale. Like even if you don't win it, like when you turn up to World Cups, you set them alight. If you're the best player in the world and you're turned to World Cup, yeah, you've got to rely on the rest of your team. But Portugal are a decent team. You know, they've got other decent players in their squad that can make a lot of chances. Same with Messi with Argentina. Like I think the best. If you're talking about the best ever, then yeah, I want to see like people delivering big time on an international stage, particularly the World Cup.
Okay, Mr. Hinder, let's go to you. Based on the same first question I asked Neil, would you say Ronaldo, with everything he has done, has surpassed Maradona and Pelé, or do you agree with Dunk in terms of not winning the World Cup, or is there any other reason why he hasn't?
I mean, he might have surpassed them, but he hasn't got to Waddle's heights. But short of that, like
Are you talking about the height of his penalty? Are you?
Yeah, and his mullet, right? And number one in the charts. So if you're going to be the best ever, you've got to have at least a number one record in the charts. If we're basing it on personal glories, Ronaldo's won the Euros, right? He
Yes.
carried
Yeah.
he carried Portugal through.
He didn't
Messi
actually play in that game either. The
Oh no,
final.
but he carried
He was
the
injured.
rest of them. Messi
Mm.
has finally won a
Copa
major
America?
trophy with Argentina. Are they better than Maradona and Pele? Well, they don't do as much coke.
Stick to
Um,
Ronaldo.
sorry, Ronaldo is Ronaldo better than Maradona and Pele? I believe he can still get it up, so that makes him better than Pele. Maradona probably done way more coke. Um, the different eras of different footballers. I would probably like to see him maybe compared to Zidane more, and maybe more of the modern era of footballers. when Pele was setting it alight, he had a decent Brazil team, and he was a really, really good football player. Don't get me wrong, but Ronaldo has been at every decent league in the world, right? Short of outside of Europe, it's still not the same quality of football as what you're going to have. He's done it at United with a good team and gone back again with a crap team. He's done it in Italy. He's done it in Spain. So that's the three biggest leagues, right? Short of Germany, he has stayed consistent through whoever he's been in. He's been a threat wherever he's been at. Maradona was a magician and fantastic, but probably nowhere near as consistent as Ronaldo was, and the same with Pele. So I didn't watch them enough. I can only go back and watch like highlights on it. So I'm probably going to be more ignorant than I would like to be about how good they were. I've seen their really, really good stuff, and I've seen Ronaldo's really, really good stuff. But I've also seen his petulant crap stuff as well, and still shining afterwards.
Breaking
He's
phones.
breaking phones, but getting accused of stuff in the media constantly. The mental strength now to be a football player is beyond the comprehension of what it used to be like, right? You know, they could do coke and do whatever they wanted to on a weekend, not a problem. Ronaldo can't. Ronaldo has to be a consummate professional to continue to play at the world stage and keep himself out of the press as much as possible. So for me, I'm definitely going to say he is better than the other two based on I haven't seen enough of them, but he's consistently, and that word is really, really key, consistently done it at the very, very top. Even at his ripe old age now, he's still doing it.
And the angry one, what would be your take on this? I mean, we have
I
Dunk that said no. Neil has said yes. What would be your take?
I agree with both of them on different points. So statistically, Ronaldo is the best player ever. You can't knock it. All the leagues, all the goals, all the records, boom, hands down. But football is not only about stats. So when you look at it, it's about a passion for the game. It's about the players you love to watch, etc., etc. So the Maradonas and the Pele, and also he's still playing, by the way. So in 10, 15 years' time, when he's not playing, we'll look back at it and say, oh, we'll view him differently to how we view him now. In the same way that we view Zidane, who's not playing anymore, and the same way we view Maradona and Pele. But the point that Dunk was making is, yeah, you don't necessarily have to win. For me, you don't have to win the World Cup because to me, I mean, if you're playing for a team that doesn't have the capability to win the World Cup, then but you have to light it up. You have to light it up, and players have lit up. Even when Argentina didn't win the World Cup, Maradona lit it up. You got your edge of your seat. You're always watching them, and that's the beauty of football, which you can't quantify with stats. It's why people rate Gascoigne so much. I don't rate him that much personally, but people rate him so much because he had you on the edge of your seat, and it's a feeling you get from football that you can't really quantify. So I don't think he'll in our lifetime probably he won't ever be better than Pele and Maradona because that's the people that we grew up with idolizing. The next generation after us, yeah, he probably will be. But for us, he just won't be Maradona, and he just won't be Pele. But statistically, nobody can touch him. You can't even bring Messi or Zidane into the conversation when he's doing it in 3 different leagues and he's still doing it at 30. What's he, 38, 36? And he's still doing it 37, and he's still doing it. Yeah, come on.
Okay, so
Do you think?
have
Sorry, Jay. There was a couple of statistically, he's been amazing, and you both said about the World, like setting the World Cup alight and setting the Euros alight. Do you think that it's harder for him to do that now, especially after he was so good at such a young age and on the world stage, and everybody knew who he was, right? But like the age of 18 and 22, everybody knew who Ronaldo was. There was no one in the world that didn't know he was going to do bits. So he's going to be taken out compared to
But
the
I would
other
compare him
players.
to Rooney. That year that Rooney got the metatarsal, Rooney was looking like he was going to be the one, and he was lighting up. I can't remember, was the Euro or World Cup? I can't
Euro
remember what it was.
2004,
Yeah, he was lighting it up at whatever age was he? 17, 18? He was lighting it up.
17.
He was unbelievable till he got his metatarsal. I don't recall this Ronaldo ever doing that. I remember the real Ronaldo doing that. I remember Maradona doing that, but I don't remember CR7 ever lighting up. I even remember I had an argument with somebody about what was his name, the German striker. What was his name?
Closer, is it? Or
Closer. He just was consistently scoring. I remember Crespo. I remember all these guys. They were just scoring, just lighting up. Baggio. There's so many players that you can remember throughout history that lit up at least one World Cup. I can't recall a World Cup that Ronaldo lit up, and he's been at loads. So, from that subjective point of view, in terms of world's best player, you think of Zidane's, even Henry. I'll say I love Henry, my favorite player. I don't remember Henry lighting up a World Cup. I don't remember him lighting up a World Cup. So
Okay, so well, with that first question, you have Dunk saying no, Neil saying yes, the angry one sitting on the fence and bringing both
it's not
perspectives.
offense. It's not offense. I don't sit on fences.
So it's well, whatever you're sitting on, you didn't you agree
I'm
with them,
standing.
but okay, whatever you're
He
standing
said
on.
he wasn't the best player, but he agreed with
Yeah.
both of our points.
Yeah, he's not the best
That,
player.
that
But I
means he's
agree.
still
But
Thank
maybe,
you. Thank you.
but maybe when we're all dead, people will say he was the best
yeah,
player.
but you're still
Yeah,
not giving you're
exactly.
still not giving a definite answer.
He's not.
But he might not be.
He's not. He's
Okay,
not.
see, that is a definite answer. He's not. You can say one more
Op-
time just in case.
Open your
and
ears.
loudly. My ears are open, sir. Stop shouting. You're using the mic. There's no point shouting.
Shut up.
If I do, how am I going to host this?
Neil, take over, please. It's better when you're on anyway.
All right. You would know for the amount of times you haven't been here. Anyway, so anyway, yeah. So number two. So
I'm not getting paid.
finally, of course, you're not getting paid. The other two are. Finally, he has given an answer. The next question here, and this is one that a lot of people seem to bring up every now and then. The obviously the biggest comparison to Ronaldo is Messi. But one of the things people mention is that a lot of people say Ronaldo is better, or the Ronaldo fans say Ronaldo is better because he has done it in different leagues. And with recent performances from Messi in Paris and him not particularly lighting up the league, a lot of people have said, "Oh yeah, you see, we've been saying this for years." So the next question, let's start with Neil. If you're on the Ronaldo side of the argument, saying that he's better than Messi, is it is that a strong enough point in sense that oh yes, because he has done it in different leagues, so definitely he's better than Messi? And I asked this even before Messi went to PSG. Was that a good enough argument to prove that he was better than Messi?
I mean, going to PSG is a retirement move, right? There's no other reason why if you're at the top of your game, you go there. The same as going to Italy. If you're at your top peak, you want to play in the Prem. Messi never looked like he wanted to. He went to the easy route of winning something.
Easy.
It's an easy route, right? If you can't win the league with PSG in that team, you ain't winning anything. Like, I think you could put most Premier League teams in there, and they would be battling for at least second place. Even the likes of, well, maybe not
Burnley.
Arsenal, but maybe Burnley, right? I think they would be definitely battling. And I'm not. The league isn't as challenging. Messi is a lot younger than Ronaldo. I think it's like 3 years difference, right, between the two. And everyone says, "Oh yeah, but Ronaldo's a lot older. He's been around a lot younger, a lot longer." He will be because he keeps himself in better shape. I think he will be because he wants to be the best and actually acts like he's the best. He's probably less humble than Messi from that point of view, but just those. Zlatan's not exactly humble, and he's still doing bits at 40, right? So I think that Ronaldo will still be about. Messi's gone to PSG, whether he stays there for another year after. I can't see him going anywhere else other than the MLS after, where I think Ronaldo might still be around for a couple more years doing it at his biggest stage that he possibly can, because he has that much pride in himself, I think, and the way that he feels that how good he is, that he doesn't want to stop. And why would you if you're still doing that, scoring 3 goals on the weekend, right? In arguably one of the hardest leagues, if not the hardest league in the world, maybe not against the best team in the world, but he's still getting 3 goals. I don't remember the last time Messi got a hat trick in the Sunday League football of France. So yeah, Ronaldo all day. Not even
Okay.
comparable.
The angry one.
I think the Messi and Ronaldo argument boils down to natural talent versus hard work and dedication. That's basically the argument, and what you place emphasis on. The reason why, I mean, obviously, don't get me wrong, Messi's numbers were ridiculous, but he made it look effortless because he was a little genius in the Maradona mold, and it just looked effortless from day one. With Ronaldo, it's hard work, it's dedication, it's that professionalism to be better than what he was born to be. If that makes sense, he's added so much to his game to make himself better. Messi didn't even need to try; it's naturally inherent. So they're different type of players, but so on one side you would argue it depends what type of player you want. But when you look at it in bare facts, any team would take Ronaldo. He'd fit any team. There isn't a team that Ronaldo doesn't fit because he just scores so many goals. Just this end of it. So that debate has kind of went down the pan, and I think the final nail in the coffin is Messi going to PSG and not performing. If he went there and scored 60 goals, you'd still have that argument. But now he's playing pedestrian football. I don't even know what he's doing. Does he even play? I don't even know. So it's Ronaldo now. It was only a debate when Messi was at Barca and Barca was good.
So now
that's not the case.
So now, so if we go back a bit, at the time that it was a debate, was there any sense to it at that particular point?
Yeah,
I mean,
there's a sense to
I
it.
mean,
But
now it's clear, like, oh, his form has dropped, whatever. He's not doing it. He's not cutting it. But back then,
it was always going to be Messi because it was always perceived to be Messi because Messi was the natural talent who made it effortless. So it's all about perception, isn't it? And that's why Messi was always winning more than Ronaldo. Ronaldo's hard work and great determination. That's great. I love that personally, but it seemed in the media it was always Messi because also he's played for Barca as well. But it was just his natural, effortless way that he played. Oh, he's so phenomenal. Look how he does. He shifts his body. Blah 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 blah. No, nobody ever said that about Ronaldo. All they ever said about Ronaldo is that he scored goals, which a lot of people score goals, but like Lewandowski scores goals. But so you can get another person who scores goals like Ronaldo, but Messi was kind of like a one-off in a way, because it's a natural talent. You can't create or engineer that. You can't go in the gym and become a Messi. You can go in the gym, you can stay on the pitch and become like a Ronaldo to a degree, or be better than you are. But so that's why I think personally that's why it was seem to aim veer towards Messi. But now all that's out the window. You can't. It's not a competition anymore.
Dunk,
Surely.
what do you think?
Yeah, so I agree with Mike. Yeah, about Ronaldo just working like way beyond to get to the best he could. So yeah, Ronaldo, he's a machine, workhorse, scores goals, has done it in 3 different leagues. So there's no arguing with those stats. The comparison between them two, Messi was the magic one. Messi was the spiritual successor to Maradona, Pele. That type of player can just be magical, make things happen. So there's 2 things. So I think if Messi had have gone somewhere else in his career and done something, then he'd have a stronger argument. But I think the whole international stage World Cup thing, if Messi had have done what we said earlier and lit up a couple of World Cups, again, not necessarily win it, but wow, here's Messi, he's really doing the business at the World Cups. I think that would have swung the argument in his favour. People would be saying, yeah, Messi better than Ronaldo. Look at what he did, and he did it at the World Cup as well. So yeah, bearing those 2 things in mind, that he hasn't done that at a World Cup. He's had some decent patches here and there, and bearing in mind that he didn't go anywhere else, and now it's backfiring him going to PSG because that's the only other place he's played now. So again, he's towards the end of his career, so it might be a little bit unfair, but people are just saying, yeah, look, he's not doing it there at that league. So if he'd have done either of those 2 things, I think people would definitely be saying Messi was better than Ronaldo. But again, like the guys have said, stats-wise, Ronaldo's just a machine. He gets the job done. He's done it everywhere he's been. So you can't really argue with those. And I would say you have to place him above Messi between the 2 of them over their careers.
I think also, Dunk, Messi is synonymous with the success of Barcelona, yeah? But Ronaldo is just Ronaldo. You don't associate him with really any team. He smashed it at Madrid. He smashed it at Man United the first time. He's still doing it right. If he gets you top 4 this time, that's still smashing it, to be honest. Yeah, and I can't wait. And at Juve. So it's just CR7. wherever he plays. If he goes if he goes MLS or if he goes to Paris, he'll still be CR7. You won't think back of his days at other teams. He's just an icon by himself. Whereas Messi, when you think about him, you only ever think about him in that context of a successful Barcelona team, and Barcelona aren't even successful anymore. I mean, they've got Oba. Look, what's that doing? So,
That's
so
just
yeah,
a wonderful swipe, ladies and gentlemen.
I got a couple of things to say that I think that there's some. I mean, Ronaldo's still got a lot of talent, right? That's not. I know we were saying that he would work hard. I think it's probably similar, and probably on a slightly lesser stage. But when you had Hoddle and Gaza in the England team, Hoddle literally workhorse, right? Hoddle, not Waddle, just in case anyone think Hoddle a workhorse, right? Not naturally talented. Gaza, naturally talented, and it's probably the closest comparison you're going to get between two English players to that. And I think they'll both be happy saying that they've been compared to Messi and Ronaldo.
no one's comparing him apart from you.
The ethics of Messi is different to Ronaldo, and I think the one key thing that has been overlooked: no one's ever built a team around Ronaldo. Messi's always had a team built around him. So Messi was the linchpin at Barca. You see the stats. Messi's stats are actually far better than Ronaldo's across the whole spectrum of everything because he's played less games and he's played most of his games in Spain, where Ronaldo was playing his trident in the Premier League and working his way through.
Sorry,
Yeah, I've got all his stats here, man.
No,
I
no,
can
I'm not.
shout you all the stats if you want.
I'm not arguing with stats, but the conversation of the teams haven't been built around Ronaldo.
Yeah, no, they haven't. I don't think they've been
haven't.
built around him. He's been bought, but he was never. I don't think he's been anywhere long enough really to build a team around.
Maybe
him.
the Man United team near the end, the first
Madrid?
stint, maybe. No,
He was
Madrid,
put out on the wide,
because,
right?
I mean,
he moved across after they needed
he's-
someone else to go up front.
He's playing in different positions. Still doesn't mean the team isn't built around him.
but Madrid was already Galacticos.
No, they're Galacticos in the sense that they were buying star players, but then when you
Yeah, but they weren't buying to complement him.
Yeah, they weren't.
But Ronaldo. So the reason I'm asking this is, Ronaldo is in Madrid, and then so for example, when you see Benzema's rise, and a lot of people talk about he has risen because Ronaldo is out of the team. But even when Mourinho was there, and there was always that argument of the way we're playing doesn't fit Ronaldo. And the same thing when he went to Juve, and players were complaining that everything they had to do had to be to suit Ronaldo. Isn't that the team built around him?
No,
No.
that's the team playing to your short-term strengths. So
Yeah.
so it's not the same thing. So you're not building a team for the long term around Ronaldo. You will if you get Ronaldo in, you may negate other people's abilities to suit Ronaldo in that short term. That's not building a team around him. That's complementing the way he plays to get the best out of the play you've paid for, so he can get goals. It's not exactly the same thing.
He was always he was the icing on the cake, right? Sorry, Dunk. He was
it's
the
not the same
the Lukaku signing for Chelsea. He was that missing piece rather than we'll change it for that. Sorry, Dunk.
I was going to say it goes back to what Mike said about Ronaldo, just like improving himself and making himself better. He, like Neil said, he joined as the winger, and then he built himself up to be the goal scorer and the goal scorer. To eventually, he was probably the most important part of that team, but the team wasn't built around him. I think he built himself up to be the most important part of that team.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry,
agreed.
Neil, carry on.
No, yeah, I was just saying he was always the final piece of any jigsaw that was in, and I think at Madrid, although he was always great for the fans and the fans loved him, I always feel like they were trying to maybe replace him with whoever they could find, whatever South American that would then go and take the place, then saying he was too slow and couldn't, and he's still pretty fast now, even at 37. He was definitely fast enough for the league he was in. Oh, he could play at the top now rather than play out wide because he can't take players on. There was always this negativeness about him because I think he wasn't South American. And regardless, even being English, we put a lot of extra emphasis on someone being from Argentina or from Brazil and going, oh, look at their little Brazilian magic or little Argentinian magic. We don't say the same thing about even Figo for Portugal. We didn't say the same thing about Zidane for France. We didn't have that because he wasn't, maybe there wasn't small or low center of gravity. But
I did.
It
but
was
anyway.
And you weren't on the same podcast, right?
Look what they did to Bale at Madrid.
He was quality.
Right?
He had good
his stats, and they turned on him because he's not
Well, the on the side note, the thing I want to ask is a lot of people mention Ronaldo and Messi when they're comparing them. They say, "Oh, one is hard work, one is natural talent." So I feel the talent is as big in Ronaldo as Messi. The only difference is one likes to continuously prep and push because a lot of players that have played with Messi, they'll tell you how hard this guy works on a training ground. Yes, he doesn't go to the gym and do 10,000 pull-ups or sit-ups, but they tell you how hard he works on the training ground, especially being in that Barcelona team. The question I do want to ask though is, and the reason I say that Ronaldo's talent is probably as big as Messi's own is, I think Rooney, for example, was a very talented player, but didn't work hard enough. He wasn't disciplined enough to go to the gym and put in the work the way Ronaldo is doing now. I also think there are loads of players that from now to tomorrow. I mean, as far as from what we've heard or from what I've heard, James Milner is probably one of the hardest working guys in Liverpool. Goes to the gym, eats right. Yeah, mute. You're mute, Mike.
Sorry, I thought I'd gone there. It's about working hard on and off the pitch. I think Messi works hard. They all work hard. I let them work hard, but Ronaldo takes it to another level of
Yeah,
working
so
hard.
yeah, so the question I was going to ask is, so we we can agree Rooney is a very talented player. Do
Mm.
you think if somebody like Rooney had put in the work Ronaldo does, he would still be as hot and still playing the way Ronaldo is now?
But it's also I think genetics and as well. But I'd say another thing between the about the Messi and the Ronaldo point. I think some people like there's no promotion like self promotion, and Ronaldo has rightly so the ego to go with his talent, and I think Messi's a humble guy, and some people don't like that ego, that self proclamation of I'm the best in the world. Whereas Messi would never say he's the best in the world. He might believe he is. He probably does think he is the best in the world. But I think that also plays in. That also created a narrative between who people thought were the best in the world. Oh, that show off Ronaldo or that humble little magician Messi. But if you're the best, you're the best. And that's it. You just can't. If I say I'm the best and I'm the best, I can back it up. Then that's what it is, whether you like it or not. But in the media, that's not always how
But based
it
on the
plays out.
grind, though, based on the grind, the hard work, the pushing, like you, if the man says he's the best in the world, at least he's showing it. There's no argument to that. It's not. I'm not. We're not their friends. I don't care what he says as long as he's showing it.
But yeah,
But the thing with the hard work I'm trying to establish here is because a lot of people talk about the hard work, the hard work, the hard work, the hard
mm.
work. Because I believe you can work as hard as you want from now to tomorrow. If the talent isn't there, it's not there.
Yeah, no, I agree, and
So
I think that it's a little bit of disrespect to Ronaldo to just make it all down to hard work. It's not. He had the talent, but he supplemented that talent with hard work.
true. So, but I'm just trying to understand.
So
There's
you're
certain talented players we can mention. I'm just
Yeah,
wondering if they put in that work. Do you think they would have had
they'll
this?
be better, no doubt, than what they are.
I was going to answer your question. You asked about Rooney,
Yeah,
and Rooney, one of the best players I think ever,
Yeah,
English
quality
players,
player.
right? Without a doubt. Rooney was 16 when he burst onto the scene, and by the time he was like 34, 35, it was like he was about 400.
Yeah,
He never, and I mean that in the nicest way, right? And I think even watching his documentary, he realized that he hadn't looked after himself as much as he should have done. There wasn't he didn't have that about him to look after himself enough. So that's he was astute enough to realize that. But I also don't feel that he pushed himself enough as to stay and say, "Look, no, I am the centre forward. I am the man to do this. I have got that much belief." Because he then started curtailing and moving back further down the pitch and ended up playing midfield for a couple of seasons, and that was probably to his detriment. And really, what would have been nice if he carried on at the top, slightly older, because he could still score goals, right? He could still
he
finish.
claimed,
And
but he claimed he was moving back because he wanted to be more involved in the game and he didn't like being up front because there was a lot of waiting for the ball. He said one of the reasons, I mean, his best season in Man United is when he scored what playing up top and scoring like loads of goals. But he claims that he preferred being in like a new developed number 10 where he could go get the ball, be involved more in the game. But and
yeah, but
you
that's also down to ego, isn't it? Because a top striker with ego isn't going to let anybody move them out of that position.
no, some managers can. I mean, some managers can say, look, I think. I mean, it's like say Van Persie. Initially, he said this. I watched one of the documentaries where Wenger said, "Look, I think you can be a wonderful goal scorer," and he was like, "Oh no, I want to play behind the striker." Eventually, it happened. Sometimes people see things you don't see, and Rooney, as Neil mentioned, all I'm trying to establish here is if you let's say we get a list of 10 very people that we thought were very talented guys, and they put in that grind Ronaldo is putting in. As you said, let's forget about the ifs and the genetics. Do you think more people will play till they're 37, 38,
Yeah,
39?
they will. They look at the body, but also I think as well that Rooney is I mentioned the ego before. Rooney is more of a selfless player that he will sacrifice this so-called golden spot playing up front to play better for the team or touch the ball more and play in the middle. But Ronaldo is not going to do that. He wants to play up front, and that's what he's going to do. Zlatan is going to play up front. That's what he's going to do. He's not going to say, "Okay, Rooney, you play up front, but it's better for the team if I play behind because it's better for the team." No, I'm better than you. I'm playing up front. You're going to play for the team, and that's what happens. That's what the players with big egos do. And I think Rooney was more of a team player than Ronaldo.
I think it's a mental thing, right? I think we're working into if I'd worked harder, I could have been a better player. I mean, all of us could be a better player if we worked as hard as Ronaldo would, right? No, we
Neil,
could.
nah.
We'd all be
You were
better.
a
Doesn't mean to
goalkeeper,
say we'd
man.
be any good, right?
There's no
But
way you would have been any better.
not with
He'd have
these
been
eyes,
like,
but we would have been. We'd have all been better. But I think it's the mentality that he has that
yeah,
is surpasses anyone else. To have that of I'm going to continue to learn. I'm going to continue to be better. I want to be the best. That drive. Hardly anyone is born with that
Zlatan?
drive, and that's talent in itself. That's mental talent. Let's not forget that Zlatan has, but I don't even think his ego. He's become his own persona. I think Zlatan has, whereas Ronaldo's, I dare say, a lot more humbler than Zlatan. He knows that he's better than him. It's hard to say that Ronaldo's humbler than someone, but I think that's unanimous, right? That Ronaldo's more humble than
Zlatan
Zlatan.
Zlatan talks in the third person. Once you start doing that, it's over.
I mean, Zlatan did say when they asked him about retiring, he said he feels sorry for everybody else than himself because it means nobody else has the privilege of watching him play every week. So that just tells you how the man thinks. I mean, Doctor, I'll ask. I mean, Ronaldo says, "I want to be the best player in the world. I'm working hard to be the best player in the world." Why do people see that as not being humble? The man is telling you what he wants to do, and he's. Well, I think it's more ambitious than anything else. Than when people try and knock him down and say he's arrogant, he's this, but he's showing it.
Yeah, no, I'd agree. And like when Mike said about it earlier, like it's just becomes an opinion poll, and they try to paint the players like they did try and paint Ronaldo as being arrogant and Messi as holier than thou. He's not got any attitude. So yeah, I think they came into it. I agree. Like he was just determined to be the best, and I think the reason the work rate gets talked about a lot with Ronaldo is because maybe I don't know he might be the first player to like be subjectively the best player in the world and have put that much hard work in, because I think it's naive to say like if you look at all of the footballers in the world, like there aren't a percentage of them that are like busting their asses trying to be like the best they can or even better than that. But Ronaldo's kind of achieved that position by doing it. He's like the first example, whereas the players we're discussing, Messi, Maradona, Pele, they just straight out the womb, and they were like flashing around with the magic skills and scoring goals. So like I can't think, if you over the past like 20 years or whatever, even more than that, like how many players would you be putting at the best in the world and saying, oh, they're there because they worked hard? Like most of them are just going to be because they got amazing natural talent. So I
Let me
think that's why it's discussed about a lot with Ronaldo.
let me ask one more question before I move on to the main question about Ronaldo. Ronaldinho, if he puts in half the work
What a player.
Ronaldo did, do you think what do you think the outcome would have been?
He might have got a
Actually,
decent passport.
and 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 he has a different twist. Oh, trust you, Neil. He has a different twist, Mike. If the way Ronaldinho, do you think sometimes when we talk about natural talent, do you think? I mean, this might sound strange, but do you think if someone like Ronaldinho overdid it, he would have lost some of that natural ability?
Ronaldinho, for me, naturally gifted talent. It's better than Ronaldo, way better. But Ronaldo's more consistent, and that's the difference. Ronaldo, to be honest, he
But
should have been in conversation with Messi. He should have been in the conversation with Messi for the talent that he had.
no, I mean,
He should have been.
Messi played with him. I remember that. I remember when
No, but he should have
like,
been in conversation. He should have been in the conversation to say he's the best player in the world
but
because
if
he
what
was
I mean, like, Dunk, let's
unbelievable,
tick boxes here. Ronaldinho lit up every tournament he played in.
unbelievable. Flipping hell.
Won titles everywhere he was. Even till he finished. I mean, he won the Copa Libertadores going back to Brazil. I think he's one of the first.
It's unbelievable player.
So, do you think if he woke up? I mean, when Pep went to Barcelona, one of the reasons he let him go was, oh, it'd be a bad influence to the younger players. This man literally used to go clubbing and walk into training and then play a match and still light it up. If he had had that extra grind like Ronaldo, possibly, I mean, we would have probably played till like 40. Like when you look at Cafu and certain players, Dani Alves, they don't drink, they work hard. Yeah, Dani Alves is still playing now. If Ronaldinho had put that extra grind in, do you think he would have lasted longer?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And again, like that's kind of the point I was making earlier. Like, you look at players like that; they just walked into it and they had amazing talent. And like if I was going to explain like what we've been talking about so far, you just put some arbitrary figures on it, and you can say like someone like Ronaldinho. Like if it was like Football Manager or something, when he first started the scene, he was 90 rated. Okay, and then when he's at his peak, he's 110. Whereas Ronaldo has maybe come in the scene at like 60 rated, and he's gone on to like 110, 120. So he's kind of like scaled it up more that way. And again, that's why I think the whole work rate is talked about with Ronaldo, because he's taken that route and it's worked for him.
Okay. Final question, boys, about Ronaldo, and this is of course, this always has to be asked in any conversation, and it is comparison to Messi. As a manager for your team, going for 4 trophies, whatever club you're the manager of, at their peak, who do you put in your team? Neil, Ronaldo, or Messi?
Which Ronaldo?
um,
What about the
Dunk.
Brazilian one? Obviously. Um,
CR7,
at
I
their
think we're talking about.
at their very very peak, I think you still pick Ronaldo at his peak. He had the pace, and I think if you're looking to win four trophies, at the top level now, and I'm having him now at his peak, I'm picking Ronaldo for today's football, definitely.
Dunk.
So the way you phrase that question, like who are you picking at their peak for your team? I'm going Messi. So I think at their peak, to slot into a team again, like to do the magic. So again, Ronaldo's going to get the goals and be the workhorse, but like Mike said, there's people that score goals. Like there's been plenty of those around. I would definitely go for Messi for the magic, just making things happen.
The angry one.
Yeah, I agree. At their peak, and that's when they were both at their peak. They were both wingers, essentially. I think, though arguably,
Forward play, or what do you call it now?
Ronaldo's peak is kind of it's kept going, to be honest. So it's not really a comparable. But at Messi's peak and the time that he was playing against Ronaldo, and they were both forwards, then you're picking Messi because he's just the genius. Long over time. If it's now today, picking Ronaldo all day long. But at that peak when Messi's out jumping Real Ferdinand to win Champions League finals and stuff, you're picking Messi. Yeah.
He actually had a job, Rio Ferdinand, Vidic, and Van der Sar. Lord
Can you
have
imagine?
mercy. That was terrible. Okay, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. The boys have told you what they think about Ronaldo in comparison to his style of play, comparison to Messi, comparison to Zidane, Ronaldinho. And the man will continue to break records and continue to have a sore back lifting Man United this season.
Hopefully it breaks before the end of the season.
Well, hopefully he doesn't. Let's hope Maguire breaks before him. On that note, people, that's been the Grassroot Chat Feature Show. Please, if you're here and like what you see, subscribe, hit that notification button, follow us on all platforms at Grassroot Chats on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and of course, grassrootchats.com. Another wonderful show, boys. Thank you very much. So it's goodbye from Neil,
Bye.
the angry one,
Adios, amigos.
and Dunk.
See you later, guys.